Friends, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and some of you at the midnight. Friends, this is the first session of the series Mission 5000. Mission 5000 has been very close to my heart. Mission 5000 means creating 5,000 good homeopathic clinicians across the globe. We have taken mission together, and I thank you all for your support. All the associations, all schools and colleges, all practitioners, all teachers, all research workers, all students, all manufacturers, all pharmacies, all journals, all homeopaths across the globe. This would not have been possible without the speakers who have been 100% dedicated to make this mission a possible mission. And as you can rightly see, we are touching the universe. We are touching the universe. The purpose is to create the universal harmony for homeopathy. Universal harmony saying that I stand up for homeopathy. Universal harmony that says I love homeopathy. And that's all we want, my friends. And this is all we desire from nature, from all of you, that we create a wonderful homeopathic world, which all of us say unitedly with one voice. One voice is very important. One voice saying that we create Mission 5000. Mission 5000, something very close to all our hearts, where we get together on same project, same platform, same commitment, and same results. Friends, this is what I want. And today's session is about law of similars. Law of similars is a universal law. It's an universal law which absolutely applies to everything in life. And this is what we are going to share today, the universal law, the law of similars. If you see in the entire cosmos, there are wonderful things which are happening. There are wonderful movements, relationships, oneness, vibrations, expressions, and experiences. So, friends, today we are going to share the universal law. Similimum is the universal law which is applicable to the practice and in life. And this is what we are going to share. Experience. This is experiential philosophy where in life and practice, the law of similimum, the like cures like, is applicable. And this is what we want to share. Friends, please let us all get united to experience this universal law. This law is applicable to each and everything in our life. It is applicable to each and everything in our life. And a wonderful, happy life can be created if you follow and respect the law of similimum in day-to-day practice. Friends, a wonderful life can be created if you follow this law in practice. The law of similimum, similia similibus curanter, means like cures like. And you will see this experienced in every second of this session. People think that the law of homeopathy is a law which is applicable only to the homeopathic medicines. It is not true at all. And every minute, every second of this sessions, you'll be able to experience the same. Each and every living individual comes in contact with thousands of influences and impressions at each and every juncture and moment in life. So, in our life, we come in touch with thousands of influences every minute, every second. And this experience can be at home, in work, in relationship, with known people, with unknown people. So there's a wide range of experience we come across. And with today's technology, we come across it more and more because we are in touch with the world every second. So some of these influences are at just physical level, but there are more deeper or profound connection or effect which transpires that is at all the levels of life. So we will just try to understand what are the different levels of life. The first level is at physical, then emotional, then intellectual, subconscious, spiritual, and ethereal. So these are different levels. I'll just repeat: physical, emotional, intellectual, subconscious, spiritual, and ethereal. Man, or for that matter, any animal, has a peculiar tendency of marking his or her territory or domain. So we always like to mark our domain. Animals mark it with some scent or secretions, and men mark it with subconscious or conscious boundaries. It is basically first at the physical plane. So human beings make boundaries which are more or less at the physical level to start with. How it is? After physical world, every individual has his or her own inner world. So there's the first at physical level, then we have our beautiful inner world. This inner world can be in emotions, it could be in intellect, it could be in feelings, it could be in values, and many more subdivisions. It can go into number of subdivisions. It could be a world of imagination, the world of creativity, world of memory, world of unhappiness, world of happiness, world of good experiences, the world of hurt feelings, world of relationships, world of trust, world of shock. You can define many more worlds suiting to your need. But this inner space is exclusive and private. And we allow only few people to enter this space or even trespass. Understand this. This is very important. Only few people will be allowed to enter this inner space and even trespass. And as physicians, all of us know it so well, so beautifully well, that when we take the history, only few people, only few patients allow us to have an access to this inner world, to understand the core of problem, the core of cause, core of the disturbance. This is very difficult. And that is the reason finding out the causation is very important in homeopathy. Now we go to the next step. Permission is limited. And even if the person is permitted, the level will vary from individual to individual. How do we evolve this world? This small little different worlds. How do we evolve? It gets evolved because of our experiences, reactions, interactions. exposure to various circumstances, genetic makeup, relationship, responses in the relationship to the various input we have received till date, number of inputs we have received, and the responses which we have given. So there are unlimited number of factors which are within us and in the surrounding, and their interactions, their experiences produce our inner world. Friends, the level of evolution and expressions vary in different individuals. It depends on different kind of inputs. See, we are going one level deeper now. Sensitivity of that patient, susceptibility, that means capacity to react, suppressions, the number of suppressions he has gone through, expressions, and the time of relationship. Understand, these are very, very delicate points. So it will entirely depend on inputs. In relation to the same person, if the input is different, the expressions are different. The same person, the sensitivity of that person, same input, sensitivity of different people is different, is totally different. Susceptibility, the reactivity of each individual is again absolutely independent. Some may react absolutely calmly as if nothing has happened. Another person may react absolutely violently. And rest of the people will react in between these two ranges. This is very, very important. It also depends on the person's suppressions, how much he is able to suppress, how much he is able to express, the time of the relationship. So sometimes in the initial stages of relationship, you may ignore certain things, but when you become so close, then those things disturb you beyond all your imaginations. Isn't that amazing? The relationship is so dynamic. It changes every second, every fraction of the second, there is a shift. And this shift, only few people are able to notice. And this is very, very, very vital in our life. If you understand the finer shades of the relationship, finer shades of experiences, finer shades of something which is very, very deep, then your understanding will evolve to an amazing extent. And these expressions are so dynamic. As I've said it, they keep on changing every fraction of a second, every fraction of a second. If you have seen a film is made up of number of frames. So in a second, you have certain number of frames. In a minute, you have certain number of frames. But if you freeze that frame, you will see nothing but a stable, steady one picture. Stable, steady one picture. So same way in our life, if we freeze a moment in time and space at one particular spot, you will see only one frame. And this is the deeper core of our evolution. Now, at the same time, number of things happen with compartments. Now, we will go much deeper as all of us make small, small compartments. But even that compartments are so dynamic. The compartments keep on changing with the same dynamism every second of life. And every fraction of a second, these compartments keep on changing. Isn't that wonderful experience of the inner world? See the system, the wonderful experience of our inner world. Amazing thing. Now we come to a beautiful picture. This chart If you understand this chart, because at this stage, you have to understand this chart. We go slowly and slowly. If you see the baseline is known as time axis. Time axis is something that if you plot right from your birth till the present state, if you plot that in the form of graphical presentations, it is known as time axis. So the base part of this chart is known as time axis. I will share with you and open one by one so that you are able to understand. The vertical aspect is phase. So there are different phases in our life. There are different phases, as we saw earlier. Something as at the physical level, something is at the emotional level, something is there at the intellectual level, something at spiritual, and something at subconscious. So we'll go step by step. The first contact normally is at the physical level. First contact is at the physical level. Now, once that contact grows, it grows to the emotional level. You exchange some of the emotions, you exchange some of the feelings, you exchange some of the deeper thoughts which come to your mind and heart. That is from physical, you transit to the emotional level. Then comes intellectual level, and then comes spiritual level. Once you cross the spiritual level, it becomes subconscious. And at the subconscious level, so many times we feel you think of a friend and friend calls you up. That is subconscious level. That means you thought the vibration reached to that person and that person called you. Isn't that amazing experience that somebody calls you when you just think of that? In old days, you would receive a nice letter from that person. Subconscious, you think of that person and that person sends a letter to you. We'll give you one simple example. One simple example. It's your friend's birthday. You go to a particular shop to buy flowers. So you have to make a nice bouquet. You choose multiple flowers, beautiful flowers, colorful flowers, some with beautiful perfume in it. You choose the flowers. But while choosing the flowers, you have kept the phone on side because you wanted the florist to place them in a particular way. You kept the phone on side. You have not realized. You loved the bouquet. You were so excited. You picked up the bouquet and you went ahead. You have forgotten your phone and you are not aware. You went to the cake shop. You went to gift shop and then you wanted it to be nicely packed. You got it put on the ribbon and then you wanted to wish your friend. You put your hand in the pocket or purse. You don't find your phone. You are surprised. Now you don't know where have you missed your phone. In the first place, second place, third place, fourth place. You are not aware. So suddenly you realize you start going back from one shop to another shop and they are quite away. So you take some time and you have no way to understand where is your phone. Now, in between, the owner of the flower shop sees your phone and sees the last call, calls up that person and says, such person had visited my shop, the bouquet was given, and the phone is lying with me. In case if you receive a call, please tell that the phone is properly placed with me. Now, The florist packs the phone beautifully in nice small box, keeps it in his drawer. Now you go from one shop to another shop. Finally, you realize that, okay, while deciding the flowers, you had kept the phone there. Now, two things can happen. One, the florist can deny that there was a phone here, or what will happen to your emotions? You will be hurt, you will be disturbed, you will be absolutely devastated when you reach the florist shop and the florist says, I have not seen any phone. We get so many people. Somebody might have picked up and I don't know anything about it. You are devastated. But here, when you reach to our florist, you get a beautifully different experience. Before, as soon as you get down from the car, and before you could open the door, florist sees you from that transparent glass door. He goes to his drawer, removes the nicely packed your phone and gives it to you. You are halfway into tears. You develop goose skin. You develop the feelings that, oh God, see, this is a perfect gentleman who understands his responsibility. And you take the phone back and you thank him. Now, till this point, the relationship is only at the physical level. Now, the florist asks you, what is your profession? You say you are a physician. For example, we are saying it could be an artist, it could be painter, it could be IT person could be engineer, person could be doctor, person could be anything, industrialist. So when you say that you are an artist, the florist goes back to his desk and takes out a beautiful book on flower painting and then gives it to you. You say you are an artist. He gives this painting book, flower painting book to you. You are really moved now. You had just touched that person. Now that person has gone one step beyond. He has broken the ice, broken the barrier, the physical barrier. Now it becomes emotional. You are really moved by this gesture. You open your purse and want to pay. The florist says, no, this is a gift from me. Every good human being which comes to our shop, we want to give some memory, good memories. So this is a gift for you. Please keep it. Now the relationship crosses from physical to the emotional level. And what will you do? Henceforth, whenever you have to buy any flowers, will you go to any other shop? Never. Your relationship has been established. Whenever any occasion happens, you would go to the same florist. And not only that, you will recommend your friends to go to the same florist. Isn't that amazing? The shift has happened from physical to emotional. Now we go one step further. He is definitely interested in mathematics. So something happens. One day, you just happen to be there and you realize that he was doing some mathematical puzzle and you remember the beautiful book he gifted to you as an artist. And when you go there, you say that he is doing some puzzle. You realize that his love, the florist's love for the mathematics, you go home within a day or two, you order a book on puzzles and send it as a gift. Now your relationship has transpired from the emotional to the intellectual level. See the beautiful shift. And then You start meeting each other. You start discussing different aspects of life, and you have coffee together. So you develop a bonding. And then one fine day, you were sitting in a coffee shop, and he shares that after 3 days, he is going for a beautiful meditation course. He asks you, would you like to join? You think for a second and say, yes, let's go together. So it's a kind of a residential workshop on meditation. Now you transit from intellectual to the spiritual. And during this 15 days of workshop, you develop a wonderful relationship with that person. You share a lot of your experiences. See, now and you had some beautiful spiritual experiences. You share those experiences and you transit to the next level. And then a lot of times you start talking to each other of different aspects of your life, and you start sharing your deep inner happiness, the secrets of your life. Now see the shift, just one bouquet, and the shift has happened at all the level. And then you realize that person is still looking out for somebody to share companionship. And by this time, your understanding has evolved to that level. All the compartments have broken, and that is the state of fluidity. A state of fluidity is an experience. Now, that we will share it little later. But if you are able to understand the basic concept of evolution from physical to the subconscious level. As the time passes, we will study this further, we'll understand this better, we'll experience this better. Ideally, this concept should have been three-dimensional, four-dimensional, five-dimensional, but for the purpose of understanding, we have kept it two-dimensional, the time and the phase. Friends, please understand this. If you understand this one diagram, you'll be able to understand the entire process of life very simply, very easily, and very beautifully. This compartments takes different shapes, different size, and in relation to the same person, the size and compartment keeps on changing. Now, if you try to understand very clearly, we have compartments for our father, for our brother, for our sister, for our wife, or for our husband. So these are different compartments, and we allow them to be in that compartment. So at any given time, you put them in different compartments. And once these compartments are there, you want to restrict them preferably to those compartments. And you don't want, there are certain things which you will tell your father, which you will definitely not tell your mother also, or something which you share with your brother, you will not tell sister. So these are all finer aspects of the compartment. And as you keep on evolving, these compartments also keep on evolving. I'm sure it is clear. We will just share the moment in the compartment again so that you will be able to understand. This is a very, very dynamic aspect. Now, we go to the next level. The sensations and the feeling of the space need not be confined to a particular plane. Understand this. The sensation or the feeling of the space need not be confined to a particular plane. It interchanges or expresses itself from time to time, plane to plane, and level to level. As the human being evolves around these planes, which are mentioned in this slide, let us observe in the form of structural representation. So, we will understand this in the form of structural representation. Ideally, it is multi-dimensional structure, but we are trying to repeat it in the form of two dimension, as we said, time and the graph of life. The upper aspect, the state of fluidity, the space, and the hourglass, we will discuss it separately. So what you are seeing in this figure are different compartments. Also, these compartments are very fluid in nature. They are not fixed compartment. They keep on moving at their own speed and whims based on your experiences, based on your reactions to the inputs which you receive. They are not fixed. They keep on changing in size and shape, varying according to time and circumstances. So, in certain times, they will vary according to the time and circumstances. Before we go ahead, please understand this figure. And I openly invite you to share your views, your suggestions, your criticisms, your comments with open mind and heart. Please share them very openly. Share them openly so that we can experience something which is deeper. And these numbers can change. We can have more than this. S1 can be stranger 1, stranger 2, stranger 3. It could be anything. It could be friend 1, friend 2, friend 3. And the moment is keep on changing. The moments keep on changing. Now we go to the topmost side. A state of fluidity. State of fluidity is an experience of infinity, experience of state of no limitations, no limits, no limitations. It's something which is very, very, very deep. And this state of fluidity is a flow of energy. You flow with amazing energy. You flow with amazing experiences, which you have never experienced in your life. All the boundaries, all the compartments completely dissolve and you become one with universe. And this is what is possible with homeopathy. That is what is possible with similimum. And that is what is possible when you receive the right medicine. And when you receive the right similimum, this breaking of paradigms, breaking of compartments happens beautifully. And this experience is the experience of lifetime. Friends, if you study the human evolution, it follows the same pattern. Even the disease follows the same pattern. But in the disease, which are pathological, starts at the physical level, travels to the level of mind. But there are some diseases, otherwise disturbance, which starts from the mind and travels to the physical level. So you can understand the whole situation is dynamic. In homeopathy, we manage the patients at all the levels, the physical, the emotional, the intellectual, subconscious, and even spiritual. We treat the patients by taking detailed history at all these levels. We work out the case, we work the patient. It's not that if you have only eye related problem, you treat the eye, you treat the human being as a whole. That is why homeopathy is a holistic science. Please understand this. This is a very, very deep aspect. And we consider all these points very carefully, very beautifully, and you will see the difference which is happening in your patients. So, the cure also takes place from center to periphery. Even the experiences takes place from the center to periphery. If you understand this phenomena of life, you will be able to understand the life, the law of similimum, and the process of disease as well as cure. So most of us keep on transiting from one phase to another. We are never stagnant. We move with so much of rapidity across the phases based on the time axis. Sometimes these movements cause pain, sometimes it causes pleasure. The pleasurable experience we want to repeat, the painful experiences we want to suppress, avoid, or neglect. We keep on traveling on this infinite platform as we desire and also as we evolve over a period of time. The graph gets extended. So if you plot our life graph in terms of time, it is very, very dynamic. And that is why you require the medical system, which is also dynamic, which is with that fast movement, which is at the energy level. What happens during this journey? During this journey, we allow millions of inputs. They are of different types. It could be at physical level. You can have people, animals, plants coming in your life. At the emotional level, you have love, hatred, compassion, music, hugs, caring. At the intellectual level, understanding, learning, education, evolving. And spiritual level, it could be religious, it could be true spiritual experience. So these are the different things which you can have it. And subconscious level, it is in the form of memories of your childhood. It could be dreams, it could be the trauma or pleasure of birth and childhood till today evolution. So during the history, we ask the same details in more details. We allow some of them only up to certain level. If you see here, you can see wife is with spiritual compartment, husband is at the spiritual compartment. So there is a beautiful harmony. The brother and father are in intellectual level, but son or sister could be in emotional level. Now, if we start experiencing these experiences could be only at the physical level. And beyond this, you don't want certain people to cross this. So there's a big, big board, no entry. So suppose if somebody, you meet the person, you meet the florist, you meet the person, the relationship ends there. You buy, you pay. So the relationship is only at the physical level. You fly through a plane. The air hostess serves you, you eat your food, you take the facilities, the matter is over. So the relationship, you want to keep it at the physical level, it remains at the physical level. And beyond that, you don't allow the entry. The scenario is absolutely like a video game or a computer game. There are different levels. And unless the certain levels are passed, you don't go to the next level. You don't go to the next level. And for that, you have to have a different relationship. And these compartments are very, very beautifully arranged. And we want to arrange these compartments in such a beautiful way so there are no frictions. You know that your mother and your wife cannot get along. You always try to keep them in different compartment. You see that there are minimum interactions, minimum frictions, and minimum disturbances. Are you able to get the point? This is very, very important in life's phase. You want to manage your life with different compartments. And here, you don't like each one to encroach on each other's place or position. You want them to be restricted to what you have mentioned. But what happens in the process of maintaining, arranging, and rearranging these compartments? You are drained out completely. Friends, understand, these are all dynamic compartments. So you keep on arranging these compartments here, here, there, and you keep on arranging for the whole day, night, whole life. And this adjustment drains you out. That is why certain people feel so much drained out at the end of the day because they have many compartments. Friends, are you able to understand and experience in your life? Your life is very, very vital here. Are you able to see how beautifully we keep on arranging our compartments? So, based on the number of compartments and their adjustment, you feel energetic or you feel tired. The less the compartments, better it is for you. Less the compartments, you are happy. More the compartments, more the adjustment, more the problem. And that is why it will drain you out. So, friend, this is very, very important point of life. And this no entry takes away a lot of your energy. And this adjustments is something which is amazing. Now, what happens? As we evolve, certain people we are not happy. We want to block them. We don't want them to be part of our life. We just simply don't want them to be part of our life. We just want to completely cut off that person. Now that person is put on a hold. And this will cause lot of suppression of emotions, lot of disturbances, lot of problems which are unexplained. Our subconscious and conscious doesn't know what is happening, but we feel tired. And this is the point. If we are able to release that suppression, if we are able to release that expression, you'll experience again lot of peace. And in homeopathy, what happens when you get the right medicine? Those compartment dissolution happens. The healing happens from within. And you will experience a very big transition from a state of disease to a state of normality. Friends, understand this. If you understand, you will be able to perceive the remedies in patient. You'll be able to conduct beautiful history. You'll be able to conduct beautiful interviews. And the ideal situation, you should have the least number of compartments, least number of, and you will experience the happiness which is beyond limits. Now we go to the state of fluidity. See, when you keep on experiencing, when you become one with the universe, when you become one with nature, one with something which you want to do in life, once you become passionate, like suppose if you want to do a painting, you become one with the painting. And when you express it out, that is the state of fluidity. And understand this, and I will share it. If I respect the philosophers in my life, there are two philosophers whom I respect absolutely from my core. It was Swami Vivekananda who believed in humanity, who believed in helping people, who believed that all of us are same. And he addressed at Chicago at the World Religious Conference. And his state of fluidity was amazing. He said, "My fellow brothers and sisters," and there was continuous clapping, standing ovation, because he was in a state of fluidity with all the people who were around, and he was one with them. So when you become one with nature, one with everything which is there, you dissolve yourself. There are no compartments or hardly any compartments. That is the state of fluidity, and that is the state where the time clock and the space gets broken. When I was a little child, I used to read Osho, and he had written a book, Sambhog Se Samadhi Tak. And when I read this, that means from physical relationship, you evolve to the level of highest spiritual attainment, that is samadhi, where you become one with universe. And he talked about this journey, and I hated him. I said, how can you mix the physical sexual relationship with the highest form of experience of oneness with the universe? I did not understand that. Years passed by, and then it dawned on me, when man and woman has a physical relationship, what happens exactly? What happens exactly? For that fraction of a second, for that fraction of second, the world dissolves. For that fraction of second, the world dissolves. Everything breaks into one. You don't care whether there is a war in the world. You don't care even what Bill Clinton is doing, or what Margaret Thatcher is doing, or anything else in the world, or who is on a vacation, who is fighting. You don't care. For that fraction of second, for you, everything dissolves. And that is the experience of oneness. Even between two of you, all the barriers are gone. All the barriers at the physical level, all the barriers at the emotional level, all the barriers at any level, you become one. And this happens only for a fraction of second. And what Osho, the Bhagwan Rajneesh, used to talk was something very deeper, that extending that one fraction of a second experience to a continuous experience of the same state of mind is nothing but same. It's a change of form. Here you have to do the efforts to be in that state, and you experience it for a fraction of a second. At other state, you are permanently in that state. And in that state, it is amazing experience. And once I have been doing meditations since last 16 or 17 years. And trust me, for a second, for a fraction of second, I experienced that all the happiness, all the unhappiness, all the wealth of the world just disappear. For a second, you feel that that fraction of second of happiness is more valuable than all the wealth Bill Gates hold with himself. And that experience is totally different. And this is totally, friends, it is totally experiential. Now, this can happen only if you are in a state of health, only if you are in a state of acceptance of the world as it is and a state of being. Friends, understand this. Here, the space and time gets broken. You are in a totally transparent state of fluidity. And this can happen whenever you find your similimum. If you find your similimum, you go to that experience. If you find your right medicine, you go to that state of fluidity. Friends, please contribute to this world. Hahnemann has given us beautiful homeopathy. We respect the homeopathy. We use the wonderful features of homeopathy and help ourselves to become healthier human beings. So, friends, let us all get committed. Let us all get committed to a state of fluidity. Let us all get committed to helping the world to go to the state of fluidity. Let us create a healthy, harmonious, homeopathic world. Now, what happens? In reality, what happens? There is something which is known as me space. Me space is a my space, which is exclusive space, which is full of danger zone. And this space will differ from each individual to each individual. In this space, nobody is allowed to enter. No one can enter. No one can do anything without the permission. Even the trespassing into this space is very, very difficult. What is this my space? My space is a space of freedom. It's a space of imagination. It's a space of fantasies. It is full of ideas, concept, creativities. It is perfect Alice in Wonderland inside all of us. This is a space of infinity and no limitation. And in this space, you can create whatever you want, and there is nobody to disturb you. In reality, if you can visualize, this space can absorb everything, the whole world. In fact, the whole universe can be absorbed here. And it is a world which rules all the other world. So your inner space rules the whole world. At any given time, this space is infinity and has no limitation. It is full of energy, full of dynamism, full of creativity, full of happiness. It is amazing inner space, and you can travel in this inner space at any time. For a fraction of a second, you are in your childhood, and the next second, you are in a present state. You can travel in your adulthood, adolescence, your love affairs, anything, the beautiful scenery, mountains, the beautiful scent which you had from the Valley of Flowers. All these experiences can be recalled, and this is your own world. Friends, just imagine it's a state of fluidity which you can experience, you can recall, and these are all experiential things which have been registered. And the kind of peace, the tranquility which you experience, or when you won a beautiful award, or when you stood first in your class, the kind of recognition which you got was amazing experience. Friends, this is what is infinite state. Understand this. All of us are born with this. Only thing, we lose it. We lose it by making compartments. We lose it by just blocking our own energy, by responding to a lot of negative things which happen universally. No, a state of happiness, a state of freedom, a state of nothingness, a state of being is the true self. And this can be experienced by one and all. In reality, you can visualize this space. The space can absorb everything, the whole world, the whole universe. And it is the inner world which rules all the other worlds. Your world of imagination, your world of creativity, everything is ruled by this inner space. There are many, many compartments. The world of thoughts, world of feelings, world of imagination, world of creativity, world of secrecy, world of ambitions. The list is limitless, limitless list. This is an area which is of high voltage. The space is the most sensitive space and it is full of high tension wires. If somebody tries to enter this space without permission, he'll get a shock of his life. And even if he tries to trespass without the awareness, boom, it will receive the reaction. So, whenever somebody tries to enter the space without knowing the consequences, he can face lot of repelling emotions. And even if one allows somebody to enter this space without being aware of the capacity of that individual to experience the relationship, suppose if you fall in love, you allow that person to enter your private space, you share your personal things, you share your beautiful inner feelings, but that person does not have the capacity at the same level of your experience. You will feel tremendous frustration. You are relating with that person at the emotional level. You are relating with that person at a very, very deep experiential feelings. But if that person is just interested in the physical relationship or the sexual relationship, what you are going to experience is the shock of your life, because that person has not evolved with you in your relationship. So please understand the evolution of relationship, because this evolution of the relationship defines the level of expectations. Beautifully, they may pretend, oh, you are my best friend, you are my closest friend, and you are my love of life, you are my soulmate. But in reality, that person is only at the physical level. So his communication is not the true communication from his heart. And this is what happens when we try to relate with some people at a different level. We are at the level of emotion, we are at the level of subconscious, and that person is only physical level. He wants to take advantage of you. We develop shock of our life. We get frustrated. We get really, and instead of that person getting a shock, we get shock. And that is how the emotional disturbances start. That is how the suppression start. And that is how the disease begins. Friends, understand this. This is very, very important. This evolution is a journey, and you have to be intelligent enough, you have to be sensitive enough to understand what relationship happen from time to time. This is very, very, very important. If you understand this, you'll be able to understand many more of your patients. But this may not apply to each and every case. When somebody understands you, there is a total harmony with that person. And when that harmony happens, and if that person enters your my space, you feel one with that person. And once you feel one with that person, you go suddenly from the limited compartment to a state of fluidity. Can you imagine the best experiences of life? Just try to recollect for a second. You read a beautiful literature, boom, all your compartments are broken. Just imagine you read a beautiful writing, boom, your all compartments are broken. You read something which was very touching, or you listen to the music, boom, all your compartments are broken. And you experience a state of fluidity. I'll share with you my beautiful experiences of Greece. I have given more than 14, 15 seminars across the Greece. And I'm thankful to my friend George Lucas, who is a MD psychiatrist. He has invited me to Greece to share whatever little I know in homeopathy. And I used to teach for 3, 4 days, right from morning 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock. And after that, 7 to 9 or 7 to 10, we used to all rest. And 10 o'clock, we'll go to chorus where they play music and they have a beautiful instrument, bouzouki. And this was something amazing, which was just a perfect similimum for me. To that point, all my restrictions, all my inhibitions, all my compartments used to break completely. And we used to be there till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, from 10 to 4. And we used to have this for 3 days, 4 days. And you'll be surprised, my friends, I used to have energy for next 3 to 4 months, which was like limitless energy. This was the similimum I experienced at that moment. And trust me, I used to recover so much, and all my compartments just disappeared. The beautiful music of chorus used to be so energizing. So friends, understand this. Anything which is similimum to your need, it can be your similimum and it can help you to transform your life. Isn't that what you want in your life? Friends, vibrations of that particular thing is exactly similar to that of ours. And there's a total harmony between that person or that object for that moment. And there is a total state of freedom or a state of fluidity. Moving from inner space to the next level of evolution, it is true that each one of us on this earth have a similimum at any given point. This similimum could be somewhere which nobody knows. This similimum could be with somebody or something. There are millions of people who are different from us. Nobody's same. But there are also few people who are similar to us. There are people who love homeopathy. There are people who love music. And that is how we come together. And it is with this few similar people, we have a strong relationship in life. And then from this select group, there's only 1 or 2 persons who is a perfect and absolute similimum to us. The only similimum. And this is what we do, the same thing in finding the remedy. Once we take the history, we have 3,000 plus basket full of homeopathic medicine. From that, we narrow it down to maybe 100. Then we narrow it down to only 10. Then we narrow it down to 3. And then we narrow it down to 1. And that is perfect similimum. So same way in the relationship, in anything for that matter, you can find a perfect similimum for that moment. This particular person can have a different materialistic status. He could be multimillionaire and you could be a pauper, or make up in life. But at a very deep level, we match with that person, and that is known as perfect similimum. For the most of the outsiders, they feel that both of you are so much different, so much of mismatch, and you are poles apart. But for an outsider, he cannot understand this match. He has to have the same vibrations, same feelings, so that he matches with you. Unless you experience, and that is what happens in the treatment. When a particular physician finds a perfect similimum medicine, he tries to share, he tries to explain it to all, one and all, and says that, okay, please understand that this is the similimum we have got. The other person should also be at the same level, same experiential level to understand what he or she is saying. And only if you are able to experience the same thing, you will understand the case and you will be able to reproduce the relief in other patients when you treat. So, learning is how you understand the prescription. Now, we go to one step further. Now, physicians will understand this beautifully. The similarity which you bring in your patients and prescription, that is the level at which you will be able to give relief and results in your patients. Very simple statement. The level of similarity, you get the same result. Suppose your similarity is at the physical level, your remedy will give relief to the physical symptoms. This is the law of similimum. Now, if the similarity is at physical and emotional level, you will be able to get the results both at the physical and emotional level. If the similarity is a higher level, the relief will be at a higher level. Absolutely clear. But if the similarity is at the core level, please understand, friends, please understand this very, very important point. If the similarity is at the core level and you feel that all the symptoms at the peripheral level does not match, all the symptoms, mild, well, listen to this point. Similarity is at the core level, like ailments from getting weight, or ailments from change of weather, or ailments from disappointment in love. If this core matches, and if some symptoms like craving for nuts is not matching, that patient loves nuts, it's fine. So even if that does not match at the level of periphery, you can create a state of perfect health because it is a perfect similimum, and you will be able to relieve the patient very clearly. Are you able to see? Suppose if your friend is very rich, you're not very rich, it does not matter. In the state of similimum, your vibrations, your experience are same, and so you will be able to see the relief. You'll be able to match, and this person will be your perfect similimum, and you will see the progress. The state of depression to the state of fluidity is the journey. Friends, this is what homeopathy can bring about: a state of pathology to state of nothingness, a state of all the reports which were positive, and when you re-taste it, the tastes are negative, and that can happen only with perfect similimum. but which is a difficult thing. And that is why we do not get 100% result. Friends, if you are getting anything between 10% to 30% relief and results in your practice, be happy, because you cannot keep the whole world happy. Suppose if you have met 5,000 people in your life, do you think all the 5,000 people will be there in your state of fluidity? No, no way. Only few selected people. So whenever you are treating the patients, same way, if you give the results in anything between 10 to 30%, you should be very happy. I'm sorry, but this is the reality of the life. You cannot. There are patients who will be, say, 10% will be better at the physical level, 20%, 30%, 40%. Patients will be better at the physical level, but you cannot carry them to the state of fluidity or state of nothingness. Only certain small percentage will travel with you, because it is very, very difficult to find the perfect similimum in life. Perfect similimum, as we have said, is something which matches exactly of what you are. When the center of the case and the depth, please understand this, when the center of the case and depth matches with that of the remedy, rest of the superficial aspects are taken care automatically, beautifully. So center and the depth both have to match, and the same thing applies to the relationship. If the center and the depth matches, you have an amazing experience in your life. So the correct prescription or the perfect similimum, if another physician has to understand, he has to develop the same sensitivity, same susceptibility, same level of depth, so that he perceives the correct prescriptions completely. So even if we teach completely, even if we share everything completely, only small percentage of the physicians will be able to reproduce the same results. The physician who matches similarity at the physical level will get a fantastic result at the physical level. Confronting physicians who mix remedies. Now we go one step further. Now, if the physician matches and mixes number of remedies together, he will get a mixed response. Mixed response. So he'll get some relief at the pathological level, some at the emotional level, some at the intellectual level, and but he will not be able to treat mental sickness. Please understand this. If he mixes too many medicines, sometimes only by chance, by fluke, he has added the perfect similimum in that mixture, he will see amazing results. He will see amazing reversal of pathology. He will see amazing results in overall condition of the patient. Now, if the manufacturer is mixing number of remedies, you will see he will never, ever, never, ever will be able to make combination of medicine for mental conditions. He will make the medicines which are at the physical level or little bit at a pathological level. And response of this mixture will not be at the mental or higher level. And that is why the deeper the similarity, better the results. So this is a universal law. Deeper the similarity, better the results. With homeopathic similimum, one can create an excellent state of health and deeper feelings of well-being. This is the state of feeling of well-being. Even the WHO recognizes this. The definition of health is state of health is something feeling better at the physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual level with a perfect value system. with a perfect balanced response. And that is what is health. So very few people in today's world are at the level of health. And this is where homeopathy will play a major role. Friends, you are all warriors, warriors of health, where the nature has given you the power to help people and create a beautiful, healthy, harmonious world. And once you have a balanced, harmonious world, the world will be worth living. Now we go one step further. The similarity or similimum is not restricted to the right medicine. Similimum can be a right book, right video, right music, even one right sentence can be a similimum to you. It has to touch the core. Once it touches the core, it will give you the desired result. Once you experience the similimum, you experience a state of fluidity. It is a state of effortlessness with no compartments, no limitations, no barriers, no restrictions. Such a relationship can achieve and extract the best of your life. Now, some of the wonderful creators, they have found their similimum. Like if you see Mozart, Beethoven, Leonardo da Vinci, they were in a state of fluidity. They were in the state of experience, which was amazing. Pandit Ravi Shankar, amazing sitarist. Or the singers, I would say even Elvis Presley. If you see at particular point, they were in perfect harmony with the nature, and what they created touched millions. So when you create something which is amazing, it can touch millions. And such a relationship can achieve the best of you. So when you experience the state of fluidity, your creativity goes to the highest level. Your every field, your inner world, start producing amazing things. Friends, this is why I say stick to homeopathy, stick to right homeopathy, transform your patients and transform your life. And this is why we have taken these sessions with you. Please attend all the sessions. Each session is a masterpiece by itself. It can take you to the next level in your practice. The purpose is to give you success. Purpose is to give you a capacity to produce health in your patients for now and forever. In the most practical and realistic aspect of any relationship, the lower the level of relationship, you cannot include the higher level. Please understand this. Suppose if somebody is at the physical level, you cannot include somebody at a higher level. But somebody who is at a very high level, if you think that that person is your soulmate, immediately physical level of the relationship happens automatically. And the same thing, whether it happens or not, it gives you tremendous happiness and a tremendous state of oneness when you are together. For example, a physical relationship cannot be at the spiritual level, but it can evolve from one level to another level at an appropriate time. So, any physical relationship can also evolve to the spiritual level. And this relationship has to be sustained at that level. If the relationship drops, if there is some misunderstanding, and if the acceptance level is low, because in this relationship, acceptance level has to be very high. Even if the worst and the worst of the circumstances, you remain in that balanced state. That is the state of fluidity. And then only you can experience. And that is why, if you see, most powerful religious people, it could be Lord Mahavira, or it could be Buddha, or it could be Jesus, or it could be Prophet Muhammad. All of them were in the state of fluidity, one with the world, one with everything. So, friends, please experience this state of fluidity. And most of the people who have lived in that state of fluidity, they have tremendous energy, they had tremendous power to heal people. So, same way, if you also evolve as a physician to a state of fluidity, you'll be able to perceive the patients more clearly because you'll be totally unprejudiced. For the purpose of understanding, we are making these things static, but otherwise, the whole process is very, very dynamic and fluid. It is only static at any given time and point. So, if you like, I have taken it in the beginning that if you fix a frame at that point, it is static, but you cannot see entire film. You just see that one frame. At given point of time and space, it is static, but continuously with time and space, it cannot be static. It is something which is constantly evolving or devolving at the same time. Understand this. Your state of health cannot remain constant. Same way, your state of relationship cannot remain constant. But when we reach a state of fluidity, there is nothing like evolving or devolving. Understand this point very, very clearly. When you reach a state of fluidity, when you reach a state of health, there's nothing like evolving or devolving. It is a state of being. There's a tremendous flow of energy, affection, love, warmth, and everything else required. Your world is filled with positivity. Your world is filled with so much of peace wisdom, warmth, love, and then nothing matters around you. That is the stage where you experience something which is very, very beautiful. Friends, when you experience this, it's amazing experience. Just imagine whenever you have touched this state of fluidity, whenever in your life, even for a fraction of second, if you have touched that fluidity, state of happiness, state of oneness with the world, how beautiful experience was it? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that worth experiencing every time, all the time? And that is homeopathy. This is very, very important. One has to accept and appreciate what is. What is very, very important. Will always be as it is and not as what one wants. Understand, in this life, we must learn to accept and appreciate what is, will always be as it is and not as what one would want it to be. Nothing is able to affect our existence in any manner whatsoever. In fact, what is what is required. This is a very deep philosophy. What is what is required. And once you start accepting what is, you will see all your compartment will dissolve, all your energy will be saved. You'll be in a state of bliss, state of happiness, state of love, state of something which is amazing experience. And this state is something where you don't want any difference. There is no discrepancy. There is no dissimilarity. You and the universe are one. And this is a state of being unipolar, only with positivity, positivity, and positivity. Friends, there are no negative charges. It is like if you throw a ball in a vacuum in a particular direction, if there is no obstruction, no force acting on it in any direction, when you throw anything, there is some opposing forces like air current, something else, which keeps on affecting. But in this, there's nothing which affects it. So the ball will keep on moving in the same direction. It will keep on traveling till infinity. It is here at this stage a perfect totality of relationship develops. It is something different and deeper. As the beautiful music of this bell, same way you will start hearing beautiful inner music. And this inner music is nothing but the music which comes from the universe. And that is why some of the people who create wonderful things, even I respect, it need not be only at the spiritual level. It could be the Newton could have experienced oneness with the spirit. Einstein could have experienced oneness with the spirit. Martin Luther King or Nelson Mandela, any of them could have experienced for that fraction of second oneness with the universe. And that is the experience. That is the experience your inner music, which is vibrating at the same tune, same speed with the universal music, and that is health. Friends, that is health. And if you are able to give this experience to your patient, the God has given you something which is amazing, powerful, and which gives a result in life. Now, here I would like to take some example. A woman has to play multiple roles in her lifetime. So, if you try to plot a woman on a timeline, with the life space, very interesting thing will come up. She has to play a role of a daughter. She has to play a role of a sister. She has to play a role of girlfriend, a wife, a mother, and many more for husband. But over and above this, she must have a space of her own. And more so ever, if this space has reached its highest order, that is the state of fluidity. If she is experiencing a state of fluidity, she can transit along the different levels without any effort or loss of energy. Are you able to get this point? If a woman is in a state of health, a state of fluidity, she will be able to transit from one role to another role. She will not have any compartment and she will be absolutely full of energy, no tiredness, no effort. This is very, very clear. Without this exclusive fluid space, she can expect the husband to trust her fully and he will confide everything to her. Now, this is a fantastic relationship. Both of them have got trust in each other and they are in the state of fluidity. The opposite is also true. The husband also has many roles in his lifetime: the role of husband, role of brother, role of father, role of son, friend, philosopher, guide, and again with lot of fluidity and movement. If there are any restrictions, then tensions are bound to be present. If there are restrictions in this state of fluidity, you will see and experience lot of tension. Now, with a good and fluid relationship, one can be the best couple and have life full of creativity and happiness. They can have a life which is full of creativity and happiness. They are two souls who travel together till eternity for worldly things. Understand this. These are two souls who travel together till eternity for worldly things. They are separate, but for deeper meaning, they are one. Their purpose, their goals, their sharing is one. So please understand this very deep philosophy of oneness, of what they call as soulmate. They have different priorities, they have different level of intellect, they have different level of emotions, they have different financial position, but nothing matters. There is oneness. It doesn't matter they are together or not. Beautiful experience. Even if they are together or not, they are one. Even if one physically departs, they are still in union. And then it is an amazing experience. In this relationship, one respects the other as he or she really is. Suppose if the person has some defect, some problem, the person is accepted as he or she is. And this acceptance is from the other side also. Because of this, there is no friction, no energy loss, no complication, no resistance, no compartments. Once there was a soul. Now, I'd like to share some very interesting story, which was in reality, which happened many years back. There was a couple who was staying in forest in a small little hut. They had a fantastic relationship between them. So one day, on a bright sunny day at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, the wife enters the room with a lamp in her hand. The husband asked her why she has a lamp in her hand. And when it is so sunny, why did she come with a lamp? The wife beautifully replies, says this lamp was not for light outside, but to create light within him, the husband. Why? Because just some time back, the husband had a thought that what will happen to my wife once I die? Will she go off to somebody? What is the beautiful thing? So this lamp represents a very subtle aspect of fluid state. It signifies that the light she wanted to bring to the husband's mind, husband's state of fluidity. She could read the thoughts, although they were not together, they were in different space, but she could read the thoughts of his mind without him having expressed it in the form of words or emotions. So when you become one, when you get united with one, when you become one with harmonies with the nature, then nothing matters, friends, nothing matters. There is a beautiful harmony between you and the universe, and you'll be able to experience which is not even spoken, which is not even expressed. You'll be able to experience that. You'll be able to read those things. And this is a perfect similimum. We should evolve our relationship, all our relationship to this level of fluidity, fluid state of mind, that even a smallest thought could be understood by her without it being expressed in any form. Friends, there cannot be a better similimum in life than this. What is the truth? Each individual is free to live his or her life according to his or her free will. At this level, two individuals can always be together independently of time and space. Everything, even their private areas, their personal life, their exclusive space is totally transparent. Just imagine this is total transparency. Just imagine the kind of energy which you experience, the kind of happiness which brings to you. Amazing. There is no demand even to have that exclusive area because it is always available to you. You don't check somebody's phone, you don't check somebody's bag. That is the kind of relationship. There's no curiosity, no intrusion, no problems. It is a free flowing life, life with depth, life with meaning, and life with purpose. A life not lived in vain. Friends, life not lived in vain. As a homeopath, all of us can say that we have not lived our life in vain, like our master Samuel Honeyman. There are some occasions where the wives give their husband an exclusive position in their life. They want, exclusive. This person is exclusive. And what happens when you give an exclusive pedestal or space where nobody else can sit or even reach? Nobody can do anything to it. Nobody else dare not enter into this space. She expects the same kind of response from the husband. She expects the same kind of space. And what happens in reality? In reality, you feel so constrained. You feel choked. You feel you have been packed up in a space where you cannot even move your hand or feet, when you cannot express your emotions or desires, where you cannot express anything. And that's a constant state of suppression. Amazing suppression. Rather, it should be a complete acceptance of others, which allows such relationship to grow. The conditions and the situations are very fluid. There are many processes, and it is not necessary to express all of them. What happens? Suggestions, comments, criticism, jokes, satires are taken in the right spirit. So when you are in a state of fluidity, you laugh at satires, you laugh at jokes, and nothing is obligatory. Today, if you don't make a tea, it's fine. And if you make a coffee, it's still fine. Nothing is obligatory. It is the level of love, level of understanding, which asks for nothing. The purity and integrity is very important. It is all experiential. It is something very, very deep and experiential. So instead of giving infinite space or a fluid space, if you try to fix the person to a point and thus constricting his space, the poor husband, he cannot even move his legs, hands. And the same thing is vice versa. If the husband is so possessive that even if girl talks to somebody, that's the end of the life. If there is any attempt to stretch, it causes a lot of pain because you are in a fixed compartment, you are in a box, you cannot do anything. And it causes a lot of pain for both. It's not that if somebody tries to move, it causes pain to him. No, it causes pain to both because their sensitivity level is high. Their commitment level is only at the physical and emotional level. The evolution has not happened. So it causes pain for both. One wants to expand and the other wants to limit. Now, this is a big conflicting situation. The results into lot of resentment, lack of acceptance, and tensions. Lot of tensions come up. This is beginning of a strained relationship and cause of unhappiness. From this point onwards, the couple's car is running down the hill without any brakes, and the wheels are not equal and they are not balanced. Normally, this situation ends in marital disharmony and finally divorce. If only she could open up, he could open up the infinite space for her husband or her wife, all the problems will get solved immediately. These examples hold true for any relationship. For any relationship that is between two individuals or between two groups or anything, universally, if the acceptance is high, there's a more of a evolution. Such a similimum with such fluidity, one can move anywhere without any restrictions. They have no compartments, no restrictions, no limitation. It is a state of infinity, a state of fluidity. The physical presence of the medicine is only for a short while. It stimulates the system. The deeper effect continues forever and ever. Just one, two, or three doses. So the stimulation, the correction in the right direction, and the system continues forever and ever. And that is life. Friends, that is life. That is similimum. It is a case of simple amelioration. Most of this disease condition happens when there is a separation. Number two, when somebody enters forcefully into this space. And third thing, we keep so many compartments, so which is very, very difficult to manage. And we keep on adjusting these compartments, left, right, center, round, square, we don't know. And this gives lot of tiredness. This creates lot of emotional disturbances, and sometimes a little threat or just the thought of opening the doors or allowing somebody to enter can lead to such a response. You may not judge the person right. You allow the person to enter, and that person brings chaos, brings disturbance, brings disaster in your life. And that is where the disease begins. Disease begins because we are not happy. Disease begins because our psychoneuroendocrinal equilibrium is imbalanced. And this imbalance causes all the disease. And when we give the right medicine, when we have the right minimum, the psychoneuroendocrinal balance comes back, and that is the state of health. Friends, we have defined the clear evolution of the disease, why diseases come, what is the progress of disease, and how to reverse the disease. So all the purpose of understanding relationship, we must know the cause. And the most important of all the times, the cause lies in this safe or exclusive area. Please understand this. The cause lies in this exclusive area which nobody is allowed to enter. And if we understand or if we have an access to that area, we can immediately treat the individual and cure the case. Please understand this finer phenomena of life, and just so that the physician can understand the finer aspect, defines where is the cause, where is the problem lying, then he will be able to evolve the conceptual image better. He'll be able to appreciate the totality better. He'll be able to appreciate the holistic aspect, and he will be able to get what is the cause, and he will get the perfect similimum. It should be possible for a physician to enter this area easily with his experience. As the physician becomes more and more experienced, he will be able to enter this area. But he himself has to be in the state of fluidity. He should be willing to reach to this core area. Patient should be willing to allow him to reach to this area, and then patient will allow this observation possible. The physician should be absolutely unprejudiced. He should not be judgmental, and physicians should be willing to help the patient unconditionally. And that is how the patient will allow physician's entry into this area. And how Hahnemann 200 years back had beautifully mentioned about unprejudiced observer. So physician has to be very open. He cannot prejudge. He cannot decide the medicine. He cannot decide the prescription in the first go. He has to be observing the phenomena. He should be willing to observe how the disease has progressed, how the changes have taken place. And once he observes them very, very carefully, he will be able to evaluate the patient in an unbiased manner, and he will be able to perceive the patient completely and will be able to prescribe the right medicine. Let us talk more in detail. Homeopathy follows the rule of life. It follows the rules of nature. Similimum in homeopathy can easily open all the doors of existence at physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, subconscious level. If the medicine is right, it can act right up to this level. That is to the stage of fluidity, the level of fluidity. And it can be a big jump and may require an effort on the part of the individual, or it may happen in a very smooth transition in few individuals. So sometimes it will require a lot of effort. You might have to go through zigzag way because you are not able to trace the right medicine. Sometimes it goes through zigzag way, or the patient may not be able to express, patient may not be ready and willing to allow you to go to that core level. So if you cannot go to the core level, you cannot prescribe the medicine. What I would suggest all of you, I mean, if you wish, you share this film, you share this video with all your patients before you start the treatment, and I'm sure they will be willing to share their inner feelings very easily, and you will be able to help them in a faster way. Friends, this is the rule of life. This is the law of life, the similimum. Remedies act according to that level of similarity. So the way in which you have selected the similarity, it will act. Some remedies will act only at the physical level. Some may cover part of intellectual level and part of emotional level and little at physical. So each remedy has got different line of action, different depth of action. Suppose the patient's susceptibility and sensitivity is very low. If you give patient a very high potency, patient may not be able to take it. Patient may not be able to retain it. Patient will have a severe aggravation. At the same time, if the patient is very sensitive, very susceptible, if you give the medicine at a very low potency, it may not even register. And that is why the correct potency with correct repetition is absolutely must. So similimum is nothing but right medicine, right potency with right repetition. Friends, wish you lot of similimum in your practice. Now, very important point to be observed. The remedy prescribed only on the physical level will not have much of action at the emotional and other area. I'm repeating this point because some of my friends would like it to be properly recapitulated. So, a physical level remedy will not work at the emotional level. It may, though, very rarely becomes, it will have a brushing effect on other areas. Even if it does, it will be only for a short while. So sometimes you give not similimum, but simile, and that will have a brushing effect on other areas. But otherwise, it is true that if the medicine is selected based on emotional and intellectual level, if there is a similarity, the medicine will have action at the physical level for sure, 110%. It is because when similarity is at emotional and intellectual level, the psychoneuroendocrinal balance is brought back to normal, and the physical aspect of the disease will obviously be set right sooner or later. Just as a communication between people has degrees, each remedy has potencies. And as communication has frequency of the meeting and being in touch with each other, we have repetition of the remedy in the desired potency. The difference lies in the degree of communication, and difference lies in administration of medicine and repetition of the medicine. So now please understand the finer shades. You need to have the right medicine with the right repetition. The absolute similimum in the life is the person with whom we communicate at the same level and in the same degree and as frequently as required. The absolute similimum in homeopathy is the remedy which responds to patient's need in the right force or strength which the patient needs. So it has to be applied in a right force. The similimum will give energy to him, will liberate him from many restrictions, reservations, suppressions, limits which are caused, and similimum will get you out of losing the purpose of life. It will get you out beautifully. It will give you energy. It will liberate from restrictions, suppressions, reservations, and all the limits are broken down, and you'll be a free individual. You'll be able to swim, dance, enjoy the music, walk, fly, and experience all the wonderful things of life. Once he is in a better frame of mind, better frame of system, he will create many things for himself and others. So once the recovery takes place, once the patient feels better, then the system is in a beautiful shape and he will be able to create wonderful impact on one and all across the globe. Your energy force will feel liberated, which was suppressed, buried for ages, and the individual will progress higher as a human being. So your purpose of life will be achieved. You'll be moving in the right direction with right energy, with right commitment, with the right clarity, with absolute courage, and with all the conscience. You will start caring for more and more number of people in a correct way. And this is what homeopathy does. You'll start respecting your value system. You'll start respecting the other fellow human being. With the help of Similimum, you start clearing layer by layer of separation. And once these separations, once these restrictions get released, you'll be able to experience your pure entity. You'll be able to experience your pure life. You'll be able to experience your pure soul. Similarly, two individuals can independently or together evolve and clear the feelings, emotions, etc. All the separations, all the restrictions, all the layers could be cleared off. Similimum is the golden key which opens the door of harmony for all our fellow beings. So once you are in the state of fluidity, it does not matter what you are, who you are, you're in a state of bliss. And then you will open all the compartment and you will be absolutely open to learning. You'll be like a little child who's prepared to learn every day. And this similimum remains similimum for a lifetime. From the point of similimum, all the other labels are just similes and not similimum. That is why the relationship with similimum is for eternity. Once you have found your remedy, once you have found the most important aspects of your life, once you have found somebody who vibrates, who resonates exactly like you, with your speed, with your inner feelings, with your inner world, isn't that amazing? And that is why once you experience the relationship of similimum, it is still eternity. The real similimum means total transparency and total acceptance. The moment you accept it, moment there is a total transparency, you get an amazing result. As the time passes, the transparency increases and the opacity and the translucency decreases. It gives us an experience of absolute freedom. Right medicine gives us freedom from the disease, while the deeper level, it allows us to experience the depth of life. Just imagine, you should see Swan Lake, the ballet. The moment, the freedom, it's amazing. That's the experience you can have, feeling as if you are flying with nature. Right similimum will take its appropriate time. So it's not going to happen in overnight. If you are expecting that similimum will work on you overnight, no, it's going to take its own time. So it will not allow the new symptoms or miasm to appear. So if you are giving the right similimum, no new symptoms will appear, no new miasms will appear. When you reach a fluid state, there is nothing which evolves or devolves. At the stage of freedom, at the stage of fluidity, there's nothing which is evolving or devolving. You are just transiting from one to another like a wonderful swimmer who doesn't experience anything except happiness. The same way, and it is nothing but there is no evolution or devolution. It is a state of being. Being, you are there, you are 100% there, full of energy, full of life. It is a condition of perfect harmony or balance. So experience your similimum. Friends, from my heart, I wish all of you experience the similimum in your life. I want you to experience the right remedy in your life. Friends, these sessions, these 108 sessions are created so that you experience the life, so that you experience the deeper aspect of health, deeper aspect of harmony, deeper aspect of release of layers and layers of separations and restrictions. So let us all create healthy, harmonious world which experience the freedom all the time, every time. This is the first session. This first session opens the door, opens the door to the series. This first session brings you something which is core of homeopathy. This gives you a law of similimum, an amazing experience. And now we wish that you cure many more cases. You'll be able to find many more cases with similimum, and you'll be able to help more and more patients. Please go through this course again and again. This session, you should share it with your friends, your patients, make them experience what is similimum. Let them experience the health, which is our purpose, and let us all experience the higher purpose of life. We being the warriors to help people to experience the health, experience the freedom, experience perfect state of fluidity. I'm sure you have enjoyed the session, you have learned from this session, you have experienced what I have experienced in my life. I would appreciate if you can pen down your suggestions, your criticism, and your questions. They will be all answered in the due course of time. Again, thanking you for your time and energy, and I wish that you enjoy the series as we have enjoyed creating one for you. It is, in fact, our learning process which we are sharing with you. Thank you very much. Have a great life, and may all of you enjoy the freedom and state of fluidity today, now, and forever.